Just sitting here, decided to do a little drive around in 147 today. Figured I'd see who wanted to join me. Oh, I better turn that off before I get demonetized. How's it going, guys? It is currently 7:03 p.m. here. Actually, let me do this one. Well, today's not been too bad. Can't complain. Well, depends on how you want to look at it. Yes, I do own this old school bus. This is not the one that I rode. It's a lot like the one I rode, but it's not quite like it. This is a DT466E. There, I didn't expect. What's a crazy story, Alex? How's it going, Sam? How's it going, CSX Rail Fan? I haven't seen Cameron here yet. Oh, Cameron is here. Hi, Cameron. I don't know if you commented before, I just didn't see your comment. Gosh, I'm sorry, Cameron. This has an Allison MD 3060 push button, so yes, it does have a transmission line. I love it. 681, the transmission used to chug like a train. This one, it just whines. I think I don't know if we just didn't maintain them properly or what. I know the transmission went out in that bus once, but yeah. I actually did a little bit of painting on this bus today, nothing too extensive. I took a paint marker to it, and 23 actually. Very nice, Alex. So you have like a first gen Vision and a second gen CE? I do like those buses a lot. First gen Visions drive awesome. I've only driven a couple, but they are awesome. Only one was on the road, the other was at Mike and B. Actually, they're both still at Mike and B, but I delivered one to Mike and B a little bit over a year ago. So. And the second gen CEs drive nice too. I just haven't driven one on the road yet. ICCE. I rode a 2015 C2 after 681 got replaced. I did not win the ICFE. I bid on it a couple times. I put two proxy bids on it, and I lost it. You know, I didn't want a whole lot on it because it's going to be for parts, and then I was just going to resell it. So, you know, whatever I took off of it and put on this one, I'd swap the parts, and I was going to resell the other one, the ICFE. But I did not win it, so it's like that sometimes. It's not the first time I've lost an auction, and I wasn't super, you know, concerned. I can get my parts other ways. do remember that, Alex. Was that for the 153rd scale fleet update, or 154th, whatever it is? TC2000s are nice. I've driven one. I like Wards. Of course, I own one, but I like Wards. They're terrible quality, but I like the design. I like the way they look. I don't really care for the driver's area though. How's it going, Fish Stick Flash? I do kind of miss 594, but I'm glad I sold it to buy this one. I'd rather have this one. Do I prefer C2 or CE? I've actually not driven a CE on the road, so I don't really have enough experience to give an educated opinion on one. So I'll have to say C2 for that reason. Let's see, 06 CE 300. Had to get a spare because the battery had done some goofy thing. And the smoking. Yeah, that's not good. Probably good you got a spare. Yes, I owned a Ward for about 6.5 months up until January. I bought it June 29th last year and sold it on June 14th, or not June, January 14th or something like that. What kind of bus would I like to buy next? That's a good question. As much as I'd love to have another bus, it's probably not in the cards for me to actually have one for fun. If I bought another one, it'd be for one of two purposes, for parts, or I guess one of three purposes. Parts, storage, or resale. So, but if I were to buy another one for fun, it'd probably be a Transit. A Bluebird Transit of some sort. I'd like to see an EC72 in person. I'm actually hoping to this summer if everything works out right. That's a lot of miles on an 05 CE. What's your favorite Type A bus, Alex? You know, I would like a first, or like one of the early second-gen CEs. I think it'd be cool. 05, 06, 07. When you still had the 466 and the Max Force. Minotaurs. Yeah, I'd like to have a flat front Transit. I don't care if it's front engine or rear engine. I'd probably prefer a rear engine, but the front engines are nice too. Hunter, I would love to join the club, but it's just not in the cards. I like the Minotaurs. Did drive 45, I think. I would prefer a Thomas FS65 out of those two. Over a C2, yes, I prefer a Thomas Freightliner. I love my FS65s. You know, I really like them and then I bought one, and then I loved them. It's probably more of a sentimental thing, but I think they drive awesome. I think they were way ahead of their time. First gen C2s are nice. We had one that I absolutely love driving. Every time that I get a spare, after I tried to drive at least one bus from each model year that we had, so that way I had, you know, more experience driving a lot of our buses and stuff. But after I kind of got most of the way through that, anytime I had a spare, I would try and grab 697, which was an 07 C2. That bus was a runner, and then they scrapped it for the EPA grant. $697 or a 2009? I'd probably say $697. The 09s are great. I love our 09s. But, yeah, no, $697. It just ran great. It was very fun to drive. There's actually, I knew that they were going to scrap it. And they were trying to get the miles up on those buses. So whenever I had it once, I was actually in this town here, having a route over here, and I took it the back way, like the long way back to the bus garage. I got back to the bus garage probably like close to 9 in the morning, and my route ended probably like 7:30. I went to the gas station, get a donut, and then I ate that donut, and then I went the back way all the way to the bus garage. And just because I love driving that bus so much, I wanted more time in it, and if they ask me about it, just say, oh, let's put more miles on it. Because I know it's getting scratched soon, and they have to have a certain mileage. The Green Power bus, it was just a pilot program for us, so we only had it for 6 weeks, and it's gone to a few other counties in the state for 6-week periods. Where would you like to have the engine placed, Sam? My district said that we were going to buy 11 Green Power buses, but whenever we scrapped all of ours, they had a news story about how we're saving the environment or whatever. We just scrapped so many buses, and then our superintendent was like, with the money we got from these, we can buy one transit bus. So, which was about $150,000. We scrapped. I think, well, it was $25,000 per bus. So I guess it was 6 buses. But I think it was more than that. I don't know. Would my district ever buy ICREs? No, because A, they are being discontinued, and B, we don't buy IC. We strictly buy Thomas. I like that Bronco across the street, or coming the other way. It's inching up toward there. Technically, I have 2 orders of 09s. I thought our 2010 or our late 2009s were 2000s, but they're actually very, very late 09s. So we have an order of 09s with the Mercedes, and then an order with the Cummins. But as for the Mercedes buses, we still have one full-size one left, 715. I'm surprised that one hasn't sold yet. I was the last one to drive it, and it broke down. I'm kind of surprised they didn't just let go of it whenever they let go of the rest of them. But we also have 716, 17, 18, and 19. And those are all special needs buses. That makes up the majority of our spares for special needs. So they're going to be hanging on to those until they at least get some more new special needs buses. Move some of the current ones to the spare line. I really like the D3RE. Those are neat buses. I need to get over. I haven't been up this way in a little while. I used to come up this way all the time for work, and then we lost this client, so for my other job. I plan to put the black hood on 23. Yeah, I just need the manpower to do it, and need on getting some rusty bolts loose. How's it going, Harrison? I like 715 a lot too. That thing drives great too. It's got like 190, I think 190,000 miles on it, which is a lot for us. But yeah, I had it for about a week and it was great. Oh, Wager, sorry, I think I said Wagner. I didn't read it right. My bad. The reason we stopped buying Bluebirds was for two reasons. A, our Bluebird dealer went and became our Thomas dealer, so we just stayed with the same dealer, same salesman and everything. But also, whenever our last couple orders of Bluebirds in, the 03s and the 04s, they came from the factory incredibly dirty. There was stuff broken or just missing or wrong on them. So our transportation director was very not very pleased with the quality. Actually, the last year that we ordered Bluebirds, they were so dirty that she made Bluebird send people up from Fort Valley to come clean them because they were like caked in mud and paint and all this other stuff wasn't supposed to be on them. So they sat in the field for quite a while before they actually came to us. It would have been the Lafayette plant. And this one actually would have been built right at the same time as ours. So this one came from Wood County, and the Wood County 04s and the Cabell County 04s were both in the same numbering sequence for the bodies. So I'm sure this one probably came off the assembly line right around the same time. At the same plant. Both stacked up. Do I have any more ride-along videos to do? If I do, it'll just be privately owned buses. I don't do it with district-owned buses because it's just a conversation that I want to avoid in case, you know, anybody. I know this district watches my channel, so I don't want to really get in trouble for something like that. Even though whenever I do it or did do it, it was only on bus lots. It was never on the road, and there's never anybody else on the bus. And I do more ride-along videos. Yeah, I will. Just whenever I get time. That's kind of why I did something like this today live, just because I figured, you know, you all like to see something like this. No, 23 is still at the storage lot, so that's probably where I'm going to be doing the hood swap, either that or at my buddy's shop, where he has a bunch of better tools than I do. I like the headroom. I like headroom on the newer buses because I am tall, so I like that higher headroom. Though, personally, for like just the way it looks, I like low headroom typically. Unless it's like an older Thomas, like a Freightliner or a 3800 or something like that. I really like the way they look, high headroom or low headroom, but I think I prefer high headroom. I own one high headroom and one low headroom bus, so I still have not put the hood on 23. I'm waiting on help because that hood is heavy. Cat 3126 or DT 466? Good question. I like them both a lot. I own one of each, so they both. I haven't really had to wrench on them yet, you know, other than change of oil. But yeah, that's easy for just about anything. My opinion on the Cat C7, I don't think it's terrible. I mean, they're not as good as the 3126 in my opinion, but I barely know anything about engines. Now that's just about what I spent on this one. I spent way too much, I think, but I mean, not too much by my standards, but by a lot of other people's standards. But this is something I've wanted for a long, long time, and I knew I was going to have to fight exporters for it, so. My favorite All-American generation. I'm gonna have to say, honestly, I really like all of them. I don't know if I could choose a favorite. I really like the ones from the 80s. I really like the ones from the 90s. I really like the A3 design. I really like the D3 design. The T3 is okay. I just don't really like how they did the roof caps on the T3s. Auction buses, what do you like where? Typically, if the district has them just sitting out, not behind a gate or anything, you know, that's listed on an auction site. That's my excuse to go look at them inside and out. I've used it before. A police officer came up to me and asked, and I said, these buses are up for sale, I can show you the auction listing. I said, that's not necessary, have a nice day. So. But if they're behind a fence, then yeah. Usually I like to get permission, but I don't always have that opportunity. I tried to spend a lot more than that on my childhood bus, I'll tell you that much. C2s are neat. I don't think I'd ever want to own one though. Yeah, my signal's probably cutting out a little bit. This is a fun turn to try and make in a 3800. I guess it's not as bad as I thought it was. I have to use all the steering. Worst C2 I've ever driven, 762. And that thing was put out of its misery. By a Mustang. It barely bent the roof post, they totaled it. But that thing rode like a tank. It was not very fun to drive. It was a special needs bus. So they ended up putting a 742 on its route, which was a spare at the time. So that route should be getting a new one. Let's see, probably either 761 or 763. I think they said they're getting 2 special needs buses, so I'd say probably 763 is getting a new one because he does a lot of mileage. Did I bring 147 or 23 to Kanawha Valley at some point? Yeah. I'd like to get him out more. It's just, you know, diesel money. I kind of want to have a bus meet down here sometime next month if I can coordinate it with the local Parks and Rec district. 762 was a 2013 and 742 is a 2012. Yeah, that TFA show. Yeah, I know that feeling. No, I'm not almost back to the storage lot. I'm like 2 or 3 towns over. Would I ever own a Thomas Minotaur or an HDX? Probably not. I did almost, well, I don't even want to say almost. I did throw a bid on an HDX once, a 708, because I barely knew how to drive a Transit. I said, well, might as well go ahead and buy one and learn how to drive it. Might see an EC72 this summer. I'm actually trying to do a trip down through Georgia. I kind of have it mapped out, but it's just, I'm not sure if I'm going to have the real ability to do it, you know, monetarily. So I'm just kind of planning it by ear and seeing if I can, let's see, discipline myself to save enough money to do it. But it's basically just going down like I-75 and then coming back up, like going all the way down to Fort Valley, essentially. And then going back up through like South Carolina, North Carolina, Virginia. Oh, that would be great. I'd love to see some EC72s. Have I ever ridden on an activity bus? No. Favorite Type D, Bluebird All-American. I think the A3 REs that we had drove better than the Super Coach that I drove. Hi, Cameron. Thinking about going to the Walmart up here, seeing if I could find a copy of Into the Spider-Verse, because that's a movie I want on DVD. But oh well. I have seen some of those with 3126. The 04 was kind of a transition year for the Cat engines. It was the early ones had 3126 and the later ones had the C7, but I would say like most of them had the C7. Pretty much as far as I understand it, that's kind of like they're getting rid of their last 3126s. I would like to plus 93, but probably not going to happen. I'll get down that way at some point, but probably won't be this summer. I took on some more financial responsibilities that limit me from doing as many trips. This being one of them. I meant to send you a message on Flickr and tell you, but I've just been very busy, and that's my bad. I was told that like back in the 80s, we had a bunch of mini birds. Like in the late 80s, early 90s, when they were all retired. It seems like a lot of places in West Virginia had them. The Mercedes did not come in the A3s. That was a Thomas thing. But yeah, our 2003 All-American REs had 3126s. I drove all 3 of them on a route before. I was actually the last one to drive 677 on a route before I got retired. And one of the last to drive 676. do I think the top speed with AT 545? Depends on a lot of the other. There's a lot more than just transmission that has to do with that. Engine horsepower, engine governor, rear end, differential, gearing, things like that. So it just depends on the bus. Noah's lane only goes about 60. We tested that back in October when I visited it. It is slow. We're doing 70 miles an hour right now. This is the fastest this bus will go. Thank you, Elijah. I hope it does not either. That would be very unfortunate. We got somebody pulled over up here. So. A little bit of windshield washing. What would I do if I had 681 or 680? Probably keep it all. Well, if I had 681, it would be staying all original. If I had 680, it would probably be about what I'm doing with this one. Just because 681, you know, I want to keep it how my memories are. How's it going, Charles? On the interstate through here is 70, so we're good. I'm going right at the speed limit. Let's slow down a little bit though. This is policeman. Alright. Was sold when I first started driving bus, and it went to a I tried to buy it, but I did not have enough money. It was an auction, of course, but it went to a Schoolie converter in Florida, and last time I looked up the VIN, it was registered in Vermont. They did the Vermont loophole for some reason. Thank you, Elijah. I try to make decent content. Big buses. I like big buses. And I cannot lie. I just think the big buses ride a lot better. They're more fun to drive. Shorty buses are a lot more maneuverable, but I just prefer to drive the big ones. Yes, this engine is very healthy. Has a little bit of blow-by. That's normal for a 20-year-old school bus. What is the best HDX I have driven? I really like 709. That's a 08 with the Mercedes. We only had two 08s, and there were only ones with Mercedes. 726 2010 with the Cummins. It runs great. We still have it. We still have 709 too. But that one was really fun to drive. And then the ones with air conditioning that I've driven have been awesome. The turning radius on the newer ones just sucks though. I drove one a couple days ago on Thursday. Have I ever rode on any church buses? Yes, I have. If you look at the School Bus Hunter or I think it's called like Exploring a Massive Abandoned Junkyard or something like that. There was an 85 Thomas Ford and an 88 Wayne GMC. I rode on that 85 Thomas Ford once. It was owned by a local church here. My sister went there, and I went with her once, just that way I could ride the bus. I would love to own a flat-nosed Bluebird, but you know, it's just money. That's the thing. I know I look at the camera, and I know you're sitting here listening to this, but and probably laughing. But you know, I'd love to own one, but it's just not in the cards. Worst driving bus I've ever been in. Probably that 2013 C2 I mentioned earlier. 762. Rode like crap. I was very happy to park that one. I would own a Minotaur if it was one from like the 1980s. I like those old 80s Econoline chassis. I've ever rode on any wheelchair buses. Yes, I rode on 701 my senior year for a field trip. We jazz band. I was a jazz band. We did a performance at one of the hospitals here in town. So yeah, we rode 701 for that, and then also one of my friends had a 2004 Bluebird International from Baltimore, and he let me drive that one. We rode around in it for a while. I would like to own a little lot for my buses. I want to have, I'd like to have room at my own living space for buses. Yes, A3s are awesome. I've not driven any FEs, but the REs are awesome. Yes, I've rode on both city buses and coach buses. We have Gillig Advantage city buses here, so that's all I've ridden. Well, I've ridden on a Phantom before too, but I rode those, and then I've rode on coach buses before in various states. No, we did not use the lift to lift our instruments up. That would have been very handy. Didn't think of that. I drove TC2000 up in Mike D's. I think I posted that in the Ohio Bus Group. I forget where that was from. Ryan would be able to tell you. Very nice. I love old S-Series buses. Yes, it's that 31. That bus 31. 23 is doing good. I took it to work today, and I put reflectors on the back of it. So that's pretty much all I've done with it today, those two things. I have not driven 2024 All-American E3 FE. Let's see, the newest Bluebird I have driven is a 2007 Vision, I think. Yeah, that 31 was nice. The only thing I didn't like about it was it felt kind of weak. Like it was a lower horsepower engine and such a big bus. Although, I've never really had good luck with enjoying a 5.9 in a big bus like that. I've driven an electric bus with no gas or propane buses. I drove the Beast whenever we had it. Race Bus 44 is still at the Lawrenceburg Speedway. That's where it stays. Lawrenceburg, Indiana. Will I ever break 23 and 147 to a bus wash? Yeah, I mean, my friend's shop has a truck wash, so that's where I typically wash the buses at. What's surprising, Sam? I was very pleasantly surprised by the Beast. It was a decent bus. Had very good power to it. You know, it's an electric vehicle, but the turning radius on that thing is nothing like I've ever driven before. That was the sharpest turning bus I've ever driven. I was a nervous wreck driving it because, you know, you don't want to be the one to scratch that. But yeah, Mike and B is a good place to go. I like going there. 23 nor 147 have broken down on me yet, so that's good. Actually, I don't really think it was a rattle trap. I only took it around the parking lot, so I didn't really hit any bumps or anything, you know. We have a pretty smooth lot. That would be pretty cool, Elijah, but I don't have the money for that. How are they letting me bring my bus? You mean to work? I just do it. And they know I do it, and they haven't said anything to me about it. I think it's kind of cool, so at least that's what I get from it. They might just think I'm a dweeb, which, I mean, they probably think that too, but that's fine. I don't care. But yeah, I just do it. They don't care. I am a full-time school bus driver, so I have my own route, and I have a 2017 C2. That's $7.99. There are videos of it on this channel. Worst driving HDX I've ever driven. Yeah, they all drive about the same. I mean, there are some that just stand out, but other than that, they're all just pretty much the same. I don't really care for them. They ride very nice, you know, but I prefer C2. I prefer conventional anyways. That's why I own two of them. But one reason why I own two of them. Yeah, I saw part of that video where he jumped the bus, or jumped the car into the buses. I didn't actually sit there and watch the video, but I've seen the clips that have been floating around. Yeah, I bring either bus to work just because I can. Typically, I mean, I took 23 to work today at my other job just because I could. I just felt like doing it. Yeah, I might almost. I mean, I'm pretty much almost to the lot. I was gonna end this probably here in about 10 minutes or so. I'm taking kind of a longer way to get there. But I'm actually going to end this before I get there, just because I don't want people snooping around my storage lot. I know exactly where it's at. So. Because I like to keep my private property private. Lights. Warning lights are on, of course headlights are on. I've got the cowl mounted turn signals there under the windshield, and I've got the turn signals down the side. Pretty much the only things I have left to do, the brake lights, the turn signals on the back, the reverse lights, and the stepwell lights. That's pretty much all I have left to do. And then like every light on this bus will be LED pretty much. A bumpy ride because they're doing construction through here, so they're adding in a third lane each way of the interstate here. If I I do end up keeping a parts bus, will be used for storage. So I've thought about it, but you know, if I buy a parts bus, or if I buy a parts bus now, it's going to have to be a running driving bus, and I'm probably just going to have to resell it after I swap the parts. Make it stay running and driving. You know, whatever I take off of it, I'll be replacing it with the old parts. Like whenever I need to do fuel, I mean, I need to do fuel tank, but like if I put the fuel tank from that bus on this one, I'll be putting the old tank from this one onto that bus. Oldest C2 with DEF that I've driven are 2012, so 742 or 749 would be the oldest ones that I've driven. I think those are the only two 2012s that I've actually driven. Yellow light. Probably could have made it, but oh well. I think I'm just not seeing comments. Maybe. Oh, yep, yeah, they just weren't showing for me. Would I ever trade 147 for a different bus? Probably not. I'm taking 147 back to the storage lot. Lamborghini's cool. I'd never own one unless, you know, I happen to get it for free for some reason. But yeah, our 2023 C2s are nice. I like them. I haven't driven one yet, but I drove a 2023 HDX a couple days ago, 845. I'm going to finish up our live stream over here. I don't know if you can see at the distance, but there's some new ICs in the background over there because that is our IC dealer. Let's see, comments. 147 is a manual door, so manual door right here. Tesla school bus, pretty much any electric school bus. Yeah, I have seen the leaks for 2024 ICCE. It looks cool. I like what they're doing with it. I still prefer the current CE, the way it looks, but I think the 2024, or I guess the 2025s, because the 2024s are what's sitting over there now. So 2025s are cool. What numbers are the 2020 or 2010 HDXs? 725 through 730. 851 is a 6.7 Cummins, 6.7. 22 with the black grille and hood. Yeah, it's nice. Let's see. There are some districts that actually do that with the letters instead of numbers. Typically not very big districts because, you know, it's only I mean, you can only have like 26 buses that way, but what engine was in bus 843? Cummins L9. It's a 9 liter, I think. 8.9 or a 9 liter, something like that. 727 is your favorite HDX. That's a bus I took, or I did perform my first field trip in. Whenever I was driving. First time I ever took a field trip driving, I drove that bus. I have not seen a 1950 GMC in mint condition. Let's see, what month and build year? I forget what month they're built in. I want to say it was like maybe January of 09, something like that. What would I do if I had 680 or 681? I answered that earlier. 680, I'd pretty much do the same thing as I did with 147 here. 681 would stay all original. 147 emergency windows door alarm sound. I disabled that because I had kids break into my bus and, well, not really break in, but they entered my bus overnight and broke one of the mechanisms, so the buzzer kept going off, so I disconnected it. I have not seen an RD 9000. How many school buses have I owned? I've owned 3. So I've owned 23, I've owned 594, and I've owned this one. I prefer the DT 466E. I got a cup of ice here. It did have lemonade in it, but now it's just got ice. The Bluebirds are all gone. The only one, well, I guess Cabell County still owns 2 technically, but they're not used as school buses anymore. One of them, well, they're both used for maintenance, one by the actual maintenance department, the other one is used during the summer to paint bus shelters. So at certain bus stops around the county, we have bus shelters that were built by the county, and every year they go and repaint them, and they use 687 for that. 685 is used by the maintenance department. They're both 2004 special needs buses. 60 passenger body, 36 passenger seating, white roof, 466E with Allison 2000. Rear mounted wheelchair lift, flat floor. I did not call the police because there was really nothing like super damaged or stolen, so I wasn't. It happened once since then, like the next week, and then after that they haven't done anything. So, seen the ugly 2010 T3REs? No, I have not. Buy $7.99. Yeah, for the summer. I'm not driving it until August, so. Let's see. Do I have locks for 23 and 147? Yes, this bus has locks. They're just kind of a pain in the butt to use. 23 is a rear door lock, the front door lock. That bus got vandalized soon after I bought it, and they totally messed up the front door lock, and I had to have it drilled out. There's one of our city buses, one of the older ones. I think that's like a 20, probably somewhere around like a 2017 dealer, if I had to guess. 799 has a 6.7 Cummins, yes. Do I have shine? Have I shined the tires before? I have on 23, but not this one. Yeah, I've talked to Noah. He's a good friend of mine. 147 is a DT466E and 23 is a Cat 3126. If anybody has any more questions, go ahead and type them in, send them real quick. I am going to go ahead and wrap this up. So I'll give you guys another minute or so, and then I'll answer questions up to a certain point, and then I'm going to have, I'm going to shut this down. So, yes, 799 is a 6-speed Allison. It's a Allison 3000. Push button. Very nice. I enjoy it. What's your question, Harrison? Kanawha County has some 2024 Bluebirds up at the dealer. They have a mix of Visions and rear engines. So I was up there last weekend up at the dealer, and they had some up there. Have I watched the Magic School Bus videos? I watched Magic School Bus growing up. But yeah, I haven't watched it in a while. What's up, Elijah? What's up, Ryan? Yeah, no, I haven't seen any 2024 ICs for them yet. Of course, I'm sitting here looking at the dealer where they all come in at, so it's right here in town. The new hood is not on 23 yet at the moment. Thank you, Elijah. Thanks for joining, Alex. Actually, thanks for joining everybody, because now I'm going to go ahead and shut this down. I've been doing this for about an hour. So, let's see. You guys have a good weekend. Thank you all for tuning in, and I will catch you all in the next one. There should be, I think, 2 or 3 videos coming out this week for you guys to watch. So, take it easy. And have a good rest of your weekend.